here because I found work, but I need to get environment and so on. So I decided that for me, it will be really useful to know today's information about like registration, taxes and so on. Yeah.
Definitely. Great. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. Cool. All right. So we are live on Facebook now and getting ready to start our newcomers checklist Q&A. So welcome everybody, Facebook people and our participants here on Zoom. You can join us on Zoom. You can register through the event link. And if you want to ask questions, and you can also leave comments, and Sterling will keep an eye out and will answer any questions you put in the comments. So let's get started. And I am Kristina. I'm founder of International Women's Networking Group, and we are a group that strives to help women, international women that come to the Netherlands and want to start a life here. We want to help them thrive in their personal life and their professional life. And so we do that by getting women together, connecting them with networking events, social events, professional development. And we also connect them with other organizations in the Netherlands that have somewhat of the same goals as us, which is basically empowering women to be successful. So I moved here from Austin, Texas in 2017, and I started a business here. I teach English online. And when I got here, I didn't know anything or anybody. It was kind of a last minute decision. Never had been to Rotterdam before, but I ended up here, and it was a happy accident. I'm very happy I landed here because it is really a great city for entrepreneurs. And so I wanted to learn more about starting a business. I had no clue what I was doing here. I started a business in the States, but totally different here. And so I decided to reach out on Facebook and ask if some women wanted to join me co-working, just going to a cafe, work on our own projects, and just kind of give each other feedback and support. And so some women joined me, and we kept doing that. And then I met Sterling and several other ladies, and Sterling was very go get them active. Like we could think of something to do and we would just do it. And so that was really awesome. And that's how IWNG grew into what it is now, which is a stick team. And yeah, it's been a great experience. And let's hear from Sterling. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Sterling. I am also American. I moved to Rotterdam in June of 2018. And before I moved here, I didn't know anyone. And so I was just looking at Facebook groups, trying to find a community of people that I had things in common with, a group of people who could answer my questions and seemed actually active and doing things in person back when we could do that. And IWNG checked all those boxes for me. And when I moved here, Kristina had also put out a call to say that she was looking for volunteers to help run some of the other events. So anyone who joined like in 2020, we used to host a lot of in-person events too. We used to do a lot of networking dinners, networking lunches, coffees, bowls, and other types of like little workshops or activities, which was really great as a way to get to know people and to really build out that network. Again, back when we used to meet in person, because sometimes, or maybe not sometimes, always, it can be really difficult to meet people and build really meaningful relationships with them when you're constantly attending networking events, and it's always a different group of people, and you're not really sure of like what everyone's motive is sometimes. But something I've always found with IWNG is that women are coming to this group because we want not just professional relationships, but we want personal relationships. I feel like I've made a lot of friends through this group, like actual friends, not just people that I kind of know. And I think that that's really important when you're new to a city, when you don't live in a country that speaks your native tongue. And also when you move to a place, you know, for anyone who came here in 2020, who moved during the pandemic, my heart goes out to you. And good for you for still being here, because I can't imagine how difficult it must have been to come here and then be quarantined and not be able to go anywhere and and really build those relationships. So anyway, that's all to say. When Kristina put out a call for volunteers, I was like, yes, I will do anything. I want to see this community grow. I want to orchestrate events that people attend. And yeah, so here I am.
Thank you, Sterling. And yeah, I feel very fortunate that that we connected. Sterling has been the backbone of this foundation. She helps keep me sane. She's very organized and yeah, has many skills and talents that have really...
That's very kind of you, Kristina. But I also feel that you've also been such a foundation and a force of this group, that you have a direction, you have a vision, and you've continued to carry that. And I really commend you for getting us to where we are.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm very happy with where IWNG has come, and we want to get even bigger. We have many ideas of how we can make an even greater impact in Rotterdam and surrounding cities. We definitely want to, we have members all over, from The Hague, Amsterdam, Utrecht, Dordrecht, all over. So we definitely want to expand and do more for all the ladies in the Netherlands. And also, it's not just international ladies, it's also the local women in the Netherlands too. We like to connect with them. They have a lot of insight, and we love connecting with the locals that love connecting with internationals. So that's also, every woman is welcome. And so yeah, let's talk about why we're here today. We made a checklist. I made an interactive checklist to help newcomers. Basically, there's so much that needs to be done, so much you need to think about when you get here. It can be very overwhelming and very taxing. So I thought it would be nice to put together a checklist, something that you can kind of check off all your boxes, know that you're set, especially once you're already settled in, you're living here and you want to start a business. There's even more that you have to learn and figure out. And researching, you know, you can find, of course, information online, but it's really, you have to look for it, and you have to really find information in English can be really difficult to find. So I've tried to compile information mostly that's already in English, but some of it can be translated, and Google Translate will be your best friend when you move here. So if you don't already have that set up, I would go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's one way that you can find information, but we like to put it all together here for you, and we are here to answer your questions, not only just today at this event, but we're always available. You can contact us through email, through our Facebook group. We're always, and also if you aren't already part of our Facebook group, you should definitely join. There's so many women on there that are willing to share their experience, their knowledge, their challenges and their triumphs. And so you'll get a lot of inspiration there as well. So Sterling has pulled up our checklist, and something that you'll see, I think, that kind of sets us apart a little bit from other women's networking groups is that we don't just focus on business. We do focus on your personal life as well. We like to, because, you know, running a business is great, but you have to have your life in order, your well-being in order. If you're going to maintain your business, you really need, at least for me, I think having the stress of normal everyday life kind of figured out will make it much easier for you to go on with your business. So some of the things that we talk about on the checklist is, first of all, checking that you can stay in the Netherlands. And usually you've probably already done this research, but this gives a pretty comprehensive view on the different types of visas that you can apply for and what you can do when you do, if you do get the visa. So some visas you can work, some you can't. So that's always really important to look into. And registration, that's the big one. So when you get here, you within 5 days, you're supposed to register with the gemeente, the municipality. And it can be a little bit of a hassle depending on how prepared you are when you get here. If you already have a lease and somewhere to live, you already have a job, this can be a little bit easier, but it can get a little bit more complicated if, like me, you come here and you don't have a job yet and you don't have a place to live, or you only have a temporary place to live. So that's something you can click on these links and they'll give you more information. But if you have questions, like I said, sometimes you need to hear people's actual experience. Sometimes you need to talk to somebody about your specific situation because there could be all different kinds of facets. So that's one of the reasons that we're here, so that you can talk to us and also ask your questions in the group for other people to share their experience. So yeah, and then we talk about makelaar.
I just want to hop in real quick and talk about that a little bit more about registering and the BSN. Because if you are on your way, like if you haven't arrived in the Netherlands yet, as far as I am aware, at least with my visa process and everyone else that I've met, you won't get your BSN until after you arrive in the Netherlands. And the immigration department, the gemeente, everyone is familiar with this process. So no one is necessarily going to hunt you down in 5 days and say, you haven't registered with the gemeente, get out. So you could take a breath. You will have a bit of time, but it is still very important that you register with the gemeente. But everyone has their, as Kristina was saying, everyone has their own experience and their own story with registering with the gemeente and getting their BSN. So just before we keep going, I do want to make sure that that you're aware that this is going to be a unique process for you. And as Kristina was saying, we're here for you every step of the way.
Yes, thank you, Sterling. That's a good point. Yeah, although it does say within 5 days, they are not going to hunt you down because there are definitely different circumstances which can delay things, and that happens, and it's okay. So yeah, so, and then once you're, registered and maybe you haven't, or before you register, maybe you're looking for housing. So we have a couple of links here about renting and buying in the Netherlands, which you definitely can buy a home here, even if you're only going to be here temporarily. And a makelaar is basically like a real estate agent. They help you to search for either rental homes or to buy a home. They do, for buying, they do, help you along with the processes. And it can be a very complicated process. And it's a kind of from what I've seen, I have not bought a home here yet, but from what I've heard from other people's experience, it can be pretty intense. You have to really look and act quickly. And so it may be useful to have a makelaar that can do some of the searching for you and give you some insight on the important things you need to know about buying or about certain properties, things like that. But there are people that have done it without a makelaar as well. Sometimes it can be pretty expensive to use a makelaar, so that's something to keep in mind. But yes, this link will tell you a little bit more about that, whether you think for your situation it's best for you whether to have one or not. And we've also got some links on cheap housing, affordable housing. And then, of course, health insurance. So that's another thing that you want to sign up for as soon as you can when you get here. you have, I think, about 4 months leeway that you have until, depending on how long you're going to be here. If you're going to be here less than 4 months, then you don't have to sign up. If you're going to be here longer, then you need to sign up as soon as possible, because they will, you will pay for it. Even if you don't sign up for it those first 4 months, you will still pay the amount for it. So it's best to sign up. It's depending on where you come from, I consider it affordable. But other places, maybe it's normally free for you, so it might be a surprise that you have to pay for your insurance. But I find for me that it's affordable, and I feel like it's good health insurance here. I've had really good experience with my healthcare here versus my experience with healthcare in the States. But of course, that varies for everybody. So there's information in these links about health insurance and signing up for health insurance, finding a doctor. You need to find a GP, a general practitioner. Usually they want it to be within a certain range of your location of where you're living. And so, yeah, there's different things that you need to do to sign up and register with the GP and get your health insurance going. For kids, it's free. That's awesome until they're 18. So they'll just go under your plan if you have children, and you don't have to pay anything for the kids. So that's really nice. And then also, if there are many supplements and benefits in the Netherlands to help you with things like health insurance and rent. If for any reason your income is below a certain level, then you qualify for supplements. So you can get a rental allowance, you can get a health insurance allowance, you can get childcare allowance, and everybody that has a kid in the Netherlands gets a child budget, basically is what it's called. So you'll get, depending on your income, you'll get a certain amount of money each month or every few months, just to help you out paying those bills for the kids, which I think is really great. Okay, and so yeah, we talk about education and childcare, how to get your kids set up for school, or if you're going to school, maybe you want to do university here. So we talk a little bit about that, and there's some links for education and childcare. And childcare and healthcare benefits, what I was talking about before, which is called the toeslagen. And so there's some links there, how you can sign up, and you can find out if you qualify and how to get that all set up. Some of it is set up automatically for you.
I do want to jump in real quick again and talk a little bit more about health insurance, because just to give you an idea of what's included and what's not included, because something that I see a lot that people talk about is the fact that dentistry and eye insurance aren't necessarily included in your basic health insurance package, which again, depending on where you're moving from, that may have been included in previous packages. So for example, just to use myself as an example, I have like a basic health insurance plan, but I pay for physical therapy. Just like I get X amount of sessions every year. I pay a little extra to cover my birth control, and I pay a little extra for my dental insurance, or to cover like my teeth cleanings. I did get new glasses this year, but that was not covered by any insurance. Something that was really a unique experience to me was that I went to go to get my eye exam, and I didn't have to pay for the eye exam. I had to pay for the glasses. And I'm hoping to get my contact lenses soon, or at some point. But I chose to pay for my glasses out of pocket. So just some things to consider depending on what your own health situation is. Like visiting my GP, that was covered by health insurance. And I'm fairly certain that like if I got in an accident and if I was taken to the hospital, that would be covered within a certain radius. So just to give you an idea of like what is included, what is covered by the health insurance plans.
Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, I also I pay a little extra for dental care, and you can also pay extra for things like alternative medicine, which, physiotherapy or chiropractor, certain types of body work, unfortunately not massage. But yeah, so you can add on, I think they call it supplemental healthcare. So you can add on these supplements for certain things that you want to have covered throughout the year. Mental health is also included in your basic health insurance, depending on the service or the doctor that you're using or the provider that you're using. So there's certain percentages that they will cover for mental health insurance, for mental health care as well, which is really, really nice. Okay, so that's what we have for living and housing. And of course, there's probably more things that you might have questions on. You can always ask us, you can always comment, put your questions in the comments or contact us directly. And so next up we have business setup. So you want to start a business in the Netherlands. Okay, so you do have to check and make sure that you qualify to do the business that you want to start. You might need to have certain qualifications, certifications, things like that. So it's good to check on that first. And making a business plan is definitely a good idea. In order to get registered with the KVK, you don't always necessarily have to have a business plan. They like for you to have one. And it's just good to have one yourself so that you can kind of see what you want to do, what you're going to do, have it kind of all laid out, your plan. So it's easier to look back, review, adjust, and all of that. So we have some links to making a business plan, and you need to select a business structure. So there's several different structures of business in the Netherlands. Similar to other places, there's things like, sole proprietor or ZZP'er or solo entrepreneur. We have the BV and the, let's see, what else? I don't know all of this off the top of my head. I mostly deal with ZZP'ers. Can you think of some others?
A stichting.
Stichting, of course.
Yeah, I think, like you said, you and I have primarily, we are ZZP'ers, we're sole proprietors, we're self-employed, we're freelancers. So that's usually the guidance that we give our members, or usually the direction that our members take. Because when you're starting off from scratch, it's easier to start, or it makes more sense to just start as self-employed. But the BV, that's a common one that you'll see. For example, if you look at what's it called? IND has like a list of businesses that are approved to sponsor people as highly skilled migrants. And so you'll see a lot of BVs on there because they're usually, it's a larger business, it's a larger corporation. So if you want to just jump in head first with your business and that's what you want to set up, we can connect you with people who can help you set that up. But it is not something that that Kristina or I have done, because we're just trucking along as freelancers right now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a good place to start as a ZZP'er until you start bringing in some income or revenue, and, before you get started. So because you do get certain tax breaks as a ZZP'er, and you don't have to pay much at all to get started. A BV, which is a private company, you would have to pay different registration fees and things like that to get started. And some of the other forms of companies, you might have to have a certain amount of capital to get started as well. Just looking at the link from the checklist, we have proprietorship, general partnerships, limited partnerships, public limited company, associations, cooperatives, and foundations. So those are the different types that you can look at and see which one works for you. And like Sterling said, we can always connect you to people that can help you out with businesses beyond freelancing and ZZP. So yeah, once you find your structure, you choose a trade name, or if you've already decided on a name for your business, then make sure that nobody else has the same name or anything too similar. And you can do that on the KVK website. You can check if there's any other businesses that are using that name. But yeah, you can come up with a trade name. And so you, like for me, I have several different projects that I had been working on through the years. My main income comes from teaching English online as a freelancer. And so I have a trade name for that, but I also like to do some projects with vegan food, Southside Vegan. So I also have a trade name for that, but it's all under the same business, the same KVK number, tax number, everything. But you can have different trade names for different activities. So for Southside Vegan, I have food activity, education. For my teaching, Kristina ESL, English as a second language. I do education, different things like that. So you can have several different trade names describing the different activities that you're doing. So a lot of freelancers do that. You might have different projects, different services that you offer. So you can have different names for each activity. Okay.
I actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Kristina. So that I understand correctly, you said that you have like a couple different businesses. We're not going to call them hustles; they're businesses. That your ESL business and your Southside Vegan business. So both of them share the same GAVK number, the same Chamber of Commerce number. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good to know. Because I know we've had some members who have pivoted their own business ideas, and which is totally fine. It's very normal to decide to start a business and then realize that it's not your passion, or it becomes something else. So that's really good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I discovered that because I did the same when I came here. Because my business in the States was massage therapy, I decided to try and go ahead and do massage therapy here. And I did that for a little while, but I really wanted to do something new. That was kind of the whole point of moving somewhere new, doing something new, but massage was familiar. So I was like, okay, let me just try this. And it was fine. As far as setting it up and everything was pretty easy, but then I decided I wanted to go in a different direction, and I didn't, I was like, oh, now I'm going to have to do a whole new registration with KVK, blah, blah, blah. But then I found out, nope, I can just change my trade name. So if I do want to go back to massage, I still have that. So whichever activity you're doing, you can make different names, and you don't have to go through the whole registration process again, which is really nice. And you can do it all online very easily. You don't have to go in, you don't have to talk to anybody. You can just do a few clicks and tell them what your name is. You can pick one that's like the main name, and then you have your trades under it. So it's super easy to do on the KVK website. And you also determine your SBI code, which is basically talking about the activities you do in your business. So for my English teaching job, my activities would fall under a couple of things such as, education. I can't think of the other ones right now, but, basically that. And then, Southside Vegan would be under food and education as well, because I do some courses. You just kind of figure out your SBI code, which is another thing you do on the KVK website. You'll get a login, so you can kind of manage all of your KVK stuff through the website. So you can update the names, you can update your SBI code if it changes. And the SBI code, I think, also determines your tax status, because for different types of industries, you get taxed a little bit differently, like education and food. I believe, maybe not food. I know education is a little bit lower, like more like 6%, while other things might be, are generally 21% VAT. So that's your VAT, your sales tax, basically, which is another thing that you'll need to learn about here. If you're not from Europe, VAT might be a little bit unfamiliar for you. So then next up, we talk about financing.
I'll just talk about VAT for just a second. As someone who freelances, so I'm a copywriter. I don't know if I said that earlier. And I've also been a graphic designer and a marketing consultant, social media manager, you know, everything I wanted or I thought I could do. And so I charge the full VAT. I charge 21% for my services, which again, coming from the States seemed a little, it felt odd to me to charge VAT on top of my rate, because in the States, it's just like you charge a flat rate and you know, you're supposed to pay taxes on it, whatever. But on the invoices here in the Netherlands, and this is my understanding, that you have to break out the VAT. So you might even see it on your receipts when you go grocery shopping, that the VAT is always explained, like this was the net cost, and then this is the VAT. And then, you know, you have your nice round total. So what I do is I have my rate, and then I charge VAT on top of that. But I only do that for my clients in the Netherlands. And again, this is something, and I know that Kristina will get to this a bit later. You will definitely want an accountant to help you with all this. But just for any freelancers out there who are from the States, or if it works the same way in the country that you moved here from, I choose to have my flat rate and then charge VAT on top of it. Because then at the end of the quarter, I pay that extra VAT to the government and I get to keep the rest.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that can be a little bit tricky when you first get here if you haven't dealt with it. And I felt the same. It was a little bit weird to add the VAT on top, but it seems to be the typical thing to do here. So yeah, it works out well. You already have that set amount set aside, so you can pay your taxes and not worry about it later, as long as you have your administration set up right. So, and that's another one. But before that, we talk about financing. So yeah, you can find financing here. There's different sources to look for. Either financing from private companies or from the government. So you can find subsidies and grants and different things like that, depending on what type of business you are running and what industry you're in. You can find all sorts of government and EU grants as well. But also there's the banks. If you want to just get a regular loan, you can check out different banks. And the one that I have heard a lot of good things about, it's not a bank, it's I guess financial institution called Credits. It's Qredits. And they really like to help smaller businesses and entrepreneurs to get started. And they also have a really good interactive course to help you create a business plan, which is, you know, the structure of a business plan that, you know, would work for the KVK, that would work for getting financing from Credits or the bank, things like that. So it's a really nice, they do have it in English. You have to search for it, but I do believe I put a link in there somewhere for it. But yeah, you can find the English course and go online, and it has like basically a template, takes you through it, explains it, some videos and things, and you put in your information, and at the end you have a nice business plan and financial plan. So that's something you can do. But yeah, so administration setup and finding the right bookkeeper kind of go hand in hand. Bookkeeper and tax consultant can help you with your taxes, keeping your administration up to date and compliant, which is very important. You got to keep up with your taxes and make sure that you have the administration so that you can go back and look at things if anything's out of order, and make sure you can prove to the Belastingdienst, which is our tax people, that you're compliant and doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, it's super. Go ahead.
Just on the topic of the bookkeeper, I know for me, I had to, and I don't know if you had to do this as well, Kristina. When I set up my business, I couldn't just like put off finding a bookkeeper. I wasn't just like, oh, I'll just wait until I have to pay taxes to get a bookkeeper. I had to get a bookkeeper so that they could do my, I can't remember what the document's called, but basically I had to have a bookkeeper certify the fact that, yes, Sterling has opened this business. She has opened an account. This is her opening balance. And I had to submit that as part of my registration process. So you won't want to put off finding a bookkeeper, at least if you're here on the DAFT visa. I don't know what the situation was like for you, Kristina.
Yeah, I don't think I had to do that, but I did get a bookkeeper immediately, so maybe they did it for me. But yeah, me and numbers and taxes and all those things do not get along. So I definitely was like, I'm just going to get an accountant. And also because the minute that you register with the KVK, you have to start declaring your income and possibly paying your VAT, depending on if you have revenue coming in. So even if you don't have revenue coming in, when quarterly, you still need to declare if you've made any revenue or not. If you've, I don't think you declare quarterly your expenses, but you definitely should keep track. But every 3 months, you will have to go onto the Belastingdienst, still don't have it all pronounced right, to the tax authority website. And you can also do this online pretty easily once you learn how to do it correctly. So my bookkeeper was kind enough, actually my second bookkeeper was kind enough to teach me how to do it myself so that I could do the quarterly declarations on my own. And then he takes care of the year end, which is a whole nother story. So you'll have the year end, your income tax, and your regular something other tax. So you have your quarterly taxes, and so you'll do the accumulation of that, and then the year end income taxes, which is, going over everything. For me, I was working up until last year. I was an employee and a freelancer, so he took care of all the taxes concerning that and any complications in there. Also, for my freelancing business, all of my clients are in China, so I don't charge VAT for that. And so he saved me from paying a bunch of VAT that I didn't need to pay, which my first accountant did not do. So make sure you get a very credible recommended accountant. We can recommend some for you for sure. Actually, coming up on the 30th, Katerina Azarova is going to be doing a workshop to tell you all about taxes, what's coming up, because it's almost it is tax season. And so you can learn a bit more about what that involves. So yeah, you definitely need to make sure you have a good accountant that really listens to you and knows what you're doing. That's what I like about my current accountant. He made sure to really learn what my business was, what I was doing, who I was working with, that kind of thing. So he saved me from paying 21% VAT that I didn't need to pay. And he also knows all the tricks and all the, the benefits and deductions and all of that stuff that you might not be able to find on your own. So it's really valuable to have a good accountant or bookkeeper. And you can learn these things on your own. There are some apps and software that can help you as well. A lot of them are going to be in Dutch though. So I think to start off, I would recommend at least speaking with a bookkeeper or a tax consultant and see what they think about your business. If it is something that you can handle on your own, that they can teach you. Katerina, she has a lot of courses that she teaches so that you can learn how to do the taxes if you want to, or at least so you know what's going on. So maybe you can catch any mistakes that might be made. So yeah, that's for that. And then we have another link for tax information, just to give you an overview of how taxes work here, what you need to know for your business. And then we've got a link for choosing the right location if you're going to have a location. there's certain things that you need to take care of, certain permits and registrations and things like that, and making sure that it's in the right area for what you're doing. So that covers that. And once you have all of that kind of figured out, then you can register with the KVK. And that's a €50 fee, and you present everything that you have that you want to do. They'll look it over, and if they approve it, then there you go. You just started a business in the Netherlands. And then it's time to congratulate yourself. Go out and get some stroopwafel or some frites, and yeah, well, get some takeaway these days. But yeah, it's definitely, you definitely should take some time to congratulate yourself, because first of all, you moved to a foreign country. Second of all, you started a business in a foreign country. And I'm going to guess that you probably don't know Dutch. So doing that with the foreign language, with the language barrier and everything, it is a huge, huge accomplishment. So yeah, and like Sterling said, we're here for you along the way. And I'm also working on an expanded version of this that will be a guide to kind of just go into more detail about specific things. I know there's more information that a lot of people are asking about recently, which is on pensions and business insurance. So I'm trying to gather as much information, try to find some experts that can come and talk to us about it, because I want to know that too. And it is not easy to find that information. It's easy for locals to find that information, but there's, being an expat, it makes it a little bit different. You might need a special type of pension. So yeah, so we will definitely be coming up with that later. And so yeah, and this checklist is a really good start. And we have come up with a new membership program that will actually help you not only do the things on this list, but to help you maintain your business and to grow your business. So that's part of what the business guide will be. But we also do a lot more, and we're going to be doing a lot more to help you to grow and to support you and just to be there for you, because the hardest part about doing all of this is a lot of times you're on your own. Maybe you have a spouse or family, but they're getting, their things in order as well. And you've got to get your business figured out, or maybe you want to talk to somebody other than the one or two people that you know in the country. And so it's really nice to have that kind of support. So let's talk about memberships. I'm super excited about this. Sterling and I have been working behind the scenes with some volunteers for a while now. We have been trying to figure out how we want to do this so that we can, support our members as the best way possible. And this is what we've come up with. So, premium membership. Today is our first day, and you can register today. This is the page where you go and register. And so we have an early bird price, early bird special for $29 a month. And if you sign up before the 30th, you'll get to go to that tax workshop for free. That's included in your membership. So what do we do for the memberships? We start with the comprehensive intake. I will send you a form that you can fill out, and it's going to ask you all kinds of questions about your personal goals, your professional goals, where you're at now, and what you need to help you get to where you want to be. And then we will have a phone call and we'll talk about it. And, I will, you may talk to me, you may talk to Sterling, depending, but we will talk to you about what's going on in your life. Maybe you're already here and you need some help getting things set up. Maybe you're about to move and you really just want to have people to connect with when you get here. And so we can make sure we connect you with the right people, get you kind of settled into our group, introduced, so people get to know you and connect you to the resources that you need for your business. If you want to get started up with your business, if you're still looking for a house, or if you're really confused about the registration process, healthcare, anything, you can ask us. And if we don't know the question or the answer right away, we'll definitely find it for you. So that first call, we talk about all of that. I give you the information that I have on hand and take down any questions that I can't answer, and then I will find you the answers and we'll come back and we'll review and go over that. So that's the premium membership and the start of the premium membership. And so once you do that, you're already into our new premium members group, FB group. And that's where you'll have direct contact with our partners and our other premium members. And so our partners are already in there putting in all kinds of great content for you guys. You'll get to meet them. You'll get to see what they have to offer. They have extra valuable content that they want you to see so that you can learn about them. You can learn about their services, and it also helps you learn things for yourself that you can use, practical things that you can already use for your business or for your life. So so our partners will give an educational event each month, or one of our partners. So we have themed months. And so taxes is the month coming up, and taxes and finances, that type of thing is what we're talking about this month and next month. And after that, we'll do some social marketing and branding. We had wellness last month, so we already have a lot of nice wellness content in there, which we try to do throughout the year because well-being is very important. But yeah, so every month we'll have a different workshop, educational event that comes with your premium membership, and it's usually going to be with one of our partners. And they'll also, while you're in the group, you'll be able to interact with them, ask them questions if you need to. And they'll also be able to tell you about all their special offers and discounts and things that you get to have that are perks of the membership. So yeah, we have the access to the replays and the content database. So any kind of workshops, things like that, you're going to have access to it forever as long as you're a member. You'll be able to have those replays. And so if you do miss that educational event, you can also catch it later. And then you do get a 15% discount on all of our other IWNG events. And you get a special newsletter that'll tell you all about the exclusive discounts and offers, and monthly group Q&A and check-in. And so this is, I think, what's going to be my favorite part, is kind of getting together with everybody, seeing what we're doing, get some feedback on any projects or ideas we have. If you want to collaborate with somebody, if you're looking for a partner to do an event, you can find somebody there. You can talk to our partners, see what they're up to, learn from them, learn from each other. Yeah, and just kind of any questions you have that you need some help with, any challenges, we'll be there to help you out with that. So yeah, we'll do that monthly. And also, any other time that you have questions or want some support or want to tell us about your biggest triumph lately, or, things that are going well for you, you can post in the group, in the discussion section. And then we have the guides section, which is where all of our partners will put their content, and that's going to be your content database so that you can find articles, videos, checklists, guides, different things like that, all in the content database. And also we'll post in there the free events that are part of your membership too. So you can easily find the events that you want to go to. And yeah, this group will give you access to accountability partners. We can help facilitate that if we want to do partners or accountability group. You'll be priority for collaborative and promotional opportunities. So this is just a basic list of what we're going to be doing, but this group is going to be, led by you, by the members. We want to know what you want to see, what you want to do. In the upcoming months, we haven't scheduled everything. We've scheduled the next few months, but after that, we want to hear from you and see what you want to learn about, what you still need to help you grow and thrive in your business. And so we can schedule workshops and different events like that that are tailored to our group. And then you also get to join in to our Coffee and Collab every month, which is the networking event. So that's another way to get in touch with each other and with other members of the group as well. So yeah, these are the things that we'll be doing for the premium membership. I'm super excited about it. And like I was saying, we have the early bird special, $29 a month or $290 annually if you register before the 1st of April. And you're going to want to register before the 30th so that you can get into that workshop with Katarina too. Anything that I missed, Sterling?
I don't think so. I think I'm super excited about this. I feel like we've really been marinating and mulling over like what is it that our membership should offer? What is it that our members really need? And a lot of that really changed in 2020. That we focus so much on the in-person networking that has been the foundation of our group. Something that you and I have talked about, Kristina, is the fact that there are a lot of networking groups out there, a lot of Facebook groups where people will post something like, oh, we should all get together. Let's start a WhatsApp group. And then, people are like, yeah, that sounds great. I'm in. But then nobody actually takes the initiative to plan the event and to make it happen. And that's something that that we've been very good at. And our volunteers have been so helpful with that too. You and I are also volunteers, but everybody who commits their time, their extra time to helping IWNG make things happen, I think it's just created this really magical group and this experience that that people can rely on us to get things done, to actually organize that dinner monthly so that we can get to know each other. But as I said, we did have to kind of reevaluate the value that we wanted to offer and how we can help our members thrive. And I'm really, really excited about launching this group where we have all the content on Facebook, so that it's really easily accessible, a bit more intuitive for everybody to go through. And the fact that, if you join now, you'll still have access to the content that partners added to it a month ago. Or if you decide not to get in on the early bird special and sign up for premium membership in May, you'll still have access to all the content that was created in March, because we don't want anyone to feel disadvantaged because they came to the Netherlands, in August instead of March, because that, Corona. But yeah, I'm super stoked. I think I already know what's in the group. I already know what's coming. And I think that you, our members, are really, really going to love this. We've got some really cool programming coming up. And I'm really excited to finally share this.
Yes, me too. Yeah, it's been a journey for sure to get here. And yeah, we've been working hard on it while also working hard on our other businesses and surviving a pandemic. And so, we definitely wanted to do this sooner, but I'm really glad that we took the time to get it how we wanted and how we think that it'll best impact our members. So I'm very excited about it as well. Mm-hmm. And so now, go ahead.
We do have a question. What did people find most surprising or unexpected when they moved here? Do you want to go first, Kristina?
I don't have anything off the top of my head. Do you?
I would say, first of all, the language. That's actually something we didn't talk about really at all during this. That I knew, people told me that I didn't have to learn Dutch, but I did feel in my heart that I wanted to learn Dutch. It's important to me to speak the native language. And I'm surprised at two things. One was how hard it is to actually speak, because when people are tired of listening to me struggle to construct a sentence, they're just like, oh my God, I'll just speak English to you. Just fine. We have things to do. But the second thing was the judgment that I've seen from people. Some people have said, oh, you've been here 2.5 years, your Dutch is great. And some people are like, 2.5 years, and this is all you can say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I guess I am, but all that to say, I am surprised at how easy it is to live and like to get through the KVK only speaking English. When I first moved, like I think I registered in July or August of 2018, so no Dutch. And then even like with Corona, with COVID, the amount of like comprehensive information that they offer on the RIVM website has been really, really valuable. Of course, I'm sure there are other things that they haven't bothered to translate, but the fact that that there's so much information available in English has been really invaluable.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The language, it definitely is kind of surprising that you can get by without learning it fairly easily. But I think one thing that I learned that I was told so many times was that you can also find work here very easily if you only speak English, or if you don't speak Dutch, and that's just not the case from what I've seen.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it is possible to find work here that's going to be done in English, or that you can only speak English in, but it's just not as easy as a lot of people make it out to be. If that's the case, most likely you're going to be working in an international corporation or something like that, where English is going to be the common language. But yeah, it's as an entrepreneur and a freelancer, since I work with kids in China and, expats mostly here, I haven't had to use Dutch that much, except for when we did go to start the Stichting to register for the foundation. If we didn't have at the time a co-founder that spoke Dutch, we would have had to pay quite a bit of extra money to get a translator to do it and things like that. So it can definitely throw a wrench in some of your plans if you don't know Dutch. And I agree, I'm the same, Sterling. It's important to me to be able to speak the language here. I feel like that's part of, getting to know and being a part of the community. I think Dutch people really appreciate it if you do at least attempt to speak it, and they will quite often just switch to English to make it easier, but which makes it harder to learn, harder to practice speaking it with native speakers. But if you ask them, though, if you're not in a work, you're not going into somebody's office where they're trying to work, but if you have a friend or somebody that's willing that's Dutch, they're usually happy to practice with you. And there's lots of tall cafes too, which are little events where people get together and you can practice speaking Dutch with other non-Dutch speakers. And I think they usually have like a few Dutch speakers there to help facilitate. So yeah. And it looks like somebody's raising their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a question?
We do. Let's see.
I wasn't sure should I just unmute and go? Sorry.
Yep, go for it.
So thanks. That was my question that I submitted. Thank you for answering that. And I think language is actually what I would have said too. I moved here a couple of months ago, and I don't know if the other folks on the call are here already or not, but I'd certainly heard like, oh, everyone speaks English. And what really surprised me is that everyone does speak English, but many things are in Dutch, which sounds like a really stupid thing to say. Like you say it out loud and you're like, of course, I'm such an idiot. But like I bought, fabric softener instead of laundry detergent the first time I was in the store, and like vegan yogurt, and what I thought were plain potato chips, but they were actually mayonnaise potato chips, and like calling to set up utilities, the like talk line on the phone is always in Dutch, and you just have to kind of hang out and then randomly press buttons until you can get to a person who can speak English and who will be the most helpful customer service representative that you have ever interacted with in your life. I've just been like overwhelmed by the kindness of customer service in the Netherlands. But I because everyone had told me, oh, everyone speaks English here, I wasn't prepared for the fact that it was like, yes, they speak English, but everything is in Dutch. And if there's a second language on the package, it's like German or maybe French, but like it's never English. And so that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. So it was really interesting to hear your experiences with language too. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And it doesn't sound stupid to say like the like people speak English, but everything is in Dutch. Like that's a really good way of putting it, that you know, we are in the Netherlands. They speak Dutch. Everything is in Dutch. And it's like they speak English because there's not a lot of people that speak Dutch. And so, you know, it's knowing that they are a hub for international commerce. Rotterdam is, or at least it was, the largest deep water port in Europe. There's a huge international population, which is why I really love it here. But yeah, they speak English because it is beneficial for them in terms of doing commerce and encouraging expats to live here. But yeah, when it comes down to it, like, this is a Dutch market, so prices are in Dutch, instructions are in Dutch.
Yeah, and it definitely, I would recommend trying to start learning before you come, if you know you're coming. Some people don't know they're coming until they get here, almost like me. But Duolingo is great to start, and then, you know, there's many courses here. We do have a member in our group that gives Dutch courses, and you can find some really good teachers here as well, and really good group courses. And also, if you're here to do the inburgering test, which is like the citizenship test, or if you're going to integrate or naturalize, then they have specific courses that you can take to help you with that as well. And you can also, depending on your situation, you may be able to get those classes for free through the government as well. And then as far as your kids too, they're, you know, coming over here, learning Dutch. It's usually easier for the kids because, you know, they go into, depending on what you do. So maybe you do a private school. There are international schools, very pricey, but your kids will be with other international kids. And so it's not as difficult for them to get started with their education. They don't have to learn Dutch right away. Or you can go the other route where they're in the public school, and they do have programs for that, like the ESK program, which is for international students, and they teach them Dutch and kind of get them on the right track, because there are different tracks of education here depending on what the kids want to do when they grow up, and different things like that. So there are possibilities for kids as well. And from what I've heard from parents, most of the kids do pretty well, pick it up better. My daughter, she moved here quite a bit after I did, and she's picked up so much more Dutch than me, especially like, I mean, I know pretty good Dutch, but she knows the way they speak here locally. You know, I've learned a lot of academic Dutch, you know, like from the book, and how to speak very proper, but she knows all the words that are like very common, how they normally talk here, which I think is nice, because she's been around a lot more Dutch people and speaking it than I have. And I found myself dealing with a lot more Dutch people, getting her set up with her healthcare, getting her set up with her school and things like that. So that's when I realized that I have not learned enough Dutch, that I really want to learn more, because it's just going to help me in the long run. You know, like Sophia was mentioning, just those basic things like opening your mail and having, you know, everything's in Dutch, all your tax stuff is in Dutch, all your bills, everything like that. And so you're sitting there translating, Google Translate all the time, groceries and things like that. So it's really good to just at least pick up some basics. Before or when you get here, if you can.
Yeah. I know we're a little over time, but I just wanted to address one more question about the membership. What kind of content is included in the premium membership? And I think that's addressing like what our partners are creating. So I know we've got Celia from Business Launch. She'll be doing a workshop in April, and then that will go into the group. the content vault database is the word that we're using. And that'll be about how to reach your target audience. I know that Gulcha, I believe, is creating some content for it as well. She's been, if you want to launch your own YouTube channel, whether it's for business or just as a content creator in general, she's got a great course, great information. She launched her own channel. I can't remember. I think she said 2019. It just seems like so long ago, but the Making It in Holland channel, and she has been grinding away on that channel and creating content, and it's so great. And yeah, she's got her whole secret sauce, her message, her formula that will be in the database. Kristina, do you have any other?
Yeah, we have Irena, who's from Expat Wellbeing. She just put some content in there already, a self-healing checklist, a really nice in-depth checklist on self-healing and well-being. We have the workshops coming up, and I know there's more content. Let's see, Dorina, she does Feng Shui interior design, and she's offering some programs. She also put up a really good article on making your workspace, comfortable and efficient at home if you've had to switch to working from home. So yeah, we have different things like that. So you'll find all kinds of different content, articles, videos, challenges, blogs. Celia's put up some really good information on, I think it was it generating leads, I think. So yeah, you're going to find a lot of good information. And the next month too is about business setup. So we're talking a lot about things for when you first start up your business, finding, the right clients, how to reach the right clients, how to structure your business, how to start off on a really solid ground and have a good plan. Celia is really good about that. She helped us with that quite a bit to get us where we are right now with the memberships and everything, helped us really focus and get to where we want to be. So yeah, it's really valuable information. You'll have all of that you can access right away. And like Sterling said before, it's always going to be there. We're not going to delete it after a certain amount of time. So if you join later, you'll have access to that information, and we're going to continue adding to it. Every quarter, every partner will add something new, but they may add new things in between that. I've already had partners that have, because I've told them what we would like for them to do. And they're like, but can I do this and this and that too? And I'm like, yes, yes, you can. So you will get more than what we've just listed as the benefits. You're going to get more than that for sure. Like I can guarantee that, because our partners are just so involved and so happy to share their knowledge. And we want this to be a relationship between you and the partners and with us. And we want to help our partners too. So our partners are going to be in this group. They're going to see each other's information, each other's knowledge, learn from each other. We get to support them and their business. They're women in business as well. We get to support them by using their services, by sharing, when they have helped us, letting people know, word of mouth, that type of thing. So it's a nice circle of support, and I love it.
Absolutely. I think that's, like you just said, Kristina, what's so great about IWNG is that I love that members are coming already to just the flagship Facebook group to say, like, I want an accountant, but I want a female accountant, or, I want someone who just kind of understands and has the patience to answer all my questions, or I want a female business coach. I want a female therapist. So we're making sure we're not just like bringing in partners just for the sake of having partners. Like it's really important to us that the partners that we bring into the membership, who are going to create all this content for you, and someone that the partners are people that we trust to give you the right information, good information, and really good comprehensive care from beginning to end. Because being an expat or being an immigrant in a country where you don't speak the native language can be really, really difficult. And, you know, like all the things we were just talking about, finding a place to live, figuring out how to get your BSN, registering with the Gementa, trying to figure out whether you brought a fabric softener or laundry detergent, trying to register a business. I mean, I know I had to do all of that within like 60 or 90 days. And that was really stressful. And when Kristina and I were talking, like trying to figure out what is it that we want to give our members, and it's kind of peace of mind. You know, we're giving you a place that you can go to where you know that all the people, all the partners, all the service providers in that group are people that we trust, people who want to be here and help international women succeed in Rotterdam or throughout the Netherlands, really. And since that's really important to us, we want to make sure that you trust that space, that you want to be in that space, and that that you're getting content that's valuable for you. So I'm really excited. But I know we're a bit we're quite over. But Kristina, was there anything else that you wanted to share with the group?
No, I think that's it. I'm also super excited. I can't wait to get started. We'll have our first Q&A and check-in on the 5th of April, I believe, somewhere around there, but it'll be posted soon. And then we can get started, you know, get to know each other and see where we want to go and how we can help each other. And yeah, I really love connecting with members directly like that. We have so many really good active members, and, you know, it's easy to get lost in all of the, you know, the extra information that's out there. So this is a really good way for us to connect on a deeper level, and really be able to help each other and empower each other and inspire each other. So
definitely,
I'm really looking forward.
One more shout out. Kareem mentioned that they're putting together the collab guide. So definitely keep an eye out for that too. That's going to have a bunch of great resources. So but yeah, so excited to have everyone here, and thank you, Kristina, for creating this group and for making this space for us.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. It's been my pleasure for sure.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all later, and feel free to email us if you have more questions, leave a comment on this video. If you could use #replay. I guess that's kind of silly at this point that we're telling you that at the end of the video, but if you leave your questions in the comments or just drop them in the Facebook group, we'll be happy to answer them. So cool. All right. See you later.
Bye.